down thanks to a TP from Keteris, and it might not be over. Jungle Prodigy probably is just going to be able to tunnel away from this one. Should be able to survive. However, Taunt comes in with the flash headbutt pulverize, and Jungle Prodigy incredibly low. He tunnels away from the Lantern, and the hook doesn't land onto Kake, who will pick up the kill. Jidan not able to save him there. A bit of miscommunication perhaps as he does tunnel away from the Lantern, but all in all, very, very positive for the Deadly Kings.
Oh, so close. That Alistar flash really screwed him over. Like, he almost got away. The keyword being almost. And this is now a free dragon for Deadly Kings. Meanwhile, we see Ezreal pushing down the bot lane against this Lucian. Probably just wants to push this out and go back to buy some items. Yeah, he has. Throws down an ult to try and steal the dragon. It doesn't do anything. Fresh actually intervenes.
Going incredibly aggressive. The ignite comes down to Kake. Kake is going to have to back away from this one. Fengde looking to go aggressive. Takes down Taunt on the Alistar. Meanwhile, Rakoanos was also taken down, and round 6 pick up the dragon for themselves. So perhaps a bit too much greed there on the side of the Deadly Kings after their teamfight victory to try and take the dragon as well, and they get punished for it.
Yeah, that was really well done by round 6. Like, turning around an unfavorable situation and getting themselves 2 free kills and a dragon. Really well done.
Yeah, some very aggressive play from Jidan, really facilitating that win there, that victory for them towards that bottom side. And very brave, especially on a level 4 Thresh, but he realized there, although he realized they were going to have split focus between him and the dragon, and he knew that he could make that play. Bringing the gold lead almost back even now for round 6.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's just returning to their lanes, the junglers returning to their jungle. Actually, it might be some aggression onto the Alistar, just headbutts away. And here's Nidalee. Nidalee actually got spotted out by the Tremor Sense, so Fangdare will know that something is up.
You talk about, you know, when people talk about the 4 members of TSM being Bjergsen's wards, but Jungle Prodigy really was a ward for Fengdare in that top lane there with that Tremor Sense spot. Very cleverly done, using the Rek'Sai very well, whether it was on purpose or accidental. However, we are going to see some aggression in the bot lane, but nothing too much, just a pretty simple trade. The Bond of Stone from Jidan helping to soak up some of that damage for Godex, and nothing much comes of it.
Yeah, that is why Rek'Sai is so good. Like, worst case scenario, you're a long range ward. Worst case scenario, you see, technically speaking, over terrain. So, like, as long as people move, you're pretty useful.
Are pretty useful indeed, and Fengdare does have the level advantage in the top lane. He is really up and running now. He's got the Serrated Dirk and the Caulfield's Warhammer, and he's 2 kills, no deaths. Meanwhile, Keteris on that other side, he's not doing too badly either. He's picked up Warden's Mail to hopefully protect him against some of the oppression that Fengdare is looking to put out in that top lane. However, we see both junglers coming towards the bot lane, but Jungle Prodigy is the one who's there first. Taunt with a great headbutt moves Jungle Prodigy backwards. The headbutts him for suction, but the culling comes out and Godex is incredibly low, and the Dark Passage is going to take Jungle Prodigy away from that one. They're all going to survive in the bot lane, but again, it's favorable for the Deadly Kings, who have more health and are now looking to siege that turret.
Yeah. They have so much pressure on this turret right now. Ground 6 just has to back away. Like,
another
Rek'Sai
ignite coming out of Fengdare here. The ultimate comes out, the big gnaw, but it won't be enough. The Mastery Flash comes up.
The disrespect. So it has begun. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Deadly Kings just picks up a free turret for themselves. They pushed on the bot lane and the jungler of ground 6 off of it. So that's a pretty global gold coming towards them, which is nice. They still have a small gold lead just from farming. Lucian actually out-farming Ezreal by a decent amount. This is 25 CS. Pretty good.
Yeah, sort of as you might expect in the bot lane there, with the Lucian being, in general a stronger laner than the Ezreal. However, we are seeing a jungle CS advantage for Jungle Prodigy over Kake, but Kake does have far more kill participation, obviously, considering Jungle Prodigy has absolutely 0, so the gold is probably mitigated there.
Yeah, the biggest difference definitely is in this top lane. As we said, Fengdare is just going so aggressive onto this Gnar. He's 3-0, has 83 CS, like, He's so strong.
Oh, and here he is in the mid lane. However, the package will knock him away. A very well used defensive package there from Rakanos on that Corki. And Kake and Jungle Prodigy both hanging around the middle lane as well. We're seeing a bit of an ARAM situation here in the mid lane. Perhaps Fengda is going to back away from that one, but Keteris is also heading down towards that middle lane. We might see a fight over this turret.
Yeah, and these Squid Gangs are exactly what we were talking about in Champ Select. Fengda needs to get an early advantage in the top lane, then translate it for his team by roaming towards the mid lane. And as we said, Corki does have that package, so he isn't in all that much trouble. Whoa!
Asher going incredibly
Asher
low with the poke.
Got destroyed.
Yeah, destroyed by that poke from that poke comp. We really saw it used to perfection there, and they are going to use that damage onto Asher to mean that he cannot clear the waves, and the mid turret will go down for the Deadly Kings. That was a very well executed move there from the Deadly Kings, knowing the limits of their comp and using it very well.
And now they're going to steal away a blue buff, give it over to the Corki. They might look towards the top lane tower, or they're looking to dive onto the Quinn. Oh, that flash.
Oh dear, Tonch, he's been flashing on cooldown pretty much to make plays on this Alistar, but that one was not quite the play he was looking for. He must not have quite been in range, however he does have that Prodigy away.
Come on. That combo. We were just talking about this. You can muff the combo, for God's sake.
It's so much easier to make the combo, and he still can't manage it. First the fail flash, then the fail combo. All in all, a pretty negative 30 seconds for Tonch. However, the rest of the game has been going very well for him, and he'll be, hopefully his confidence won't be knocked, and he'll be looking to make even more plays on that Alistar.
Yeah, those fail flashes are somewhat understandable if you're the primary playmaker on your team. You flash on cooldown and you instigate everything. Yeah, you're gonna fail like 50% of the time, but hey, other 50% of the time it's gonna be glorious.
And glorious it was in the bottom lane right at the beginning of the game. So we're seeing a gold lead stretching out now for the Deadly Kings. They've very systematically taken the middle and the top turret as well as the bottom turret. So they're really getting global gold rolling from there, as well as having slight farm advantages in the majority of the lane. Well, I suppose in one actually lane. Never mind. But there is a very significant farm advantage in that lane, however. Fengda doing his best to mitigate that in the top lane on that Quinn. He's got the Yomu who's finished up now, as well as the Swifty boots, so he can roam around incredibly quickly and look to do a lot of damage to Keteris on that now.
Yeah, but the thing is, the top lane CS difference is not going to become much larger, because Quinn is looking to roam around and try to put some pressure on the map. Meanwhile, Nara is just splitting the top lane. He is finally enjoying some laning because he's all alone. Now Rek'Sai is up there to try and intervene. Meanwhile, that was almost a steal by the Freshwork, actually.
Interesting use of Death Sentence. They're not quite able to pick up the steal, unfortunately, but that pressure that you were just talking about, Keteris building up in that top lane, forcing two members of Ground 6 towards that top lane, meant that the Deadly Kings could take an absolutely free dragon there, and their ward control around that dragon is pretty astonishing. Look at, in the top side of the river, 3 pink wards incredibly close to each other.
And if they can actually get a kill onto Fengda and get rid of this Quinn, they could probably pick up the Rift Herald and look to siege. Probably any lane, because right now, Quinn is the one with most pressure. Oh,
Fengda might find himself in trouble here. The Yomu's has popped to get away. A beautiful Spear over the wall, actually, from Kake, I believe, tagged him and prevented him from coming into lane at full speed, as you might expect. So Rakoanos was saved there by his jungler, and now they'll be looking to push up in the middle lane.
Yeah, now Quinn has to back away because she's around half HP, and they're just going to start sieging.
Are going to start sieging. Jungle Prodigy hanging around the side. The True Shot Barrage comes through, trying to clear the wave, as well as the Victor Laser, and they are going to clear the wave for now. Suction takes a turret shot for one extra little shot onto the turret in return, but they will just probably rinse and repeat here. And also they have Keteris pressuring that top lane, which means that Fengda has to go towards that top lane, and he is the powerful member of Ground 6 right now. And if he's forced to stay in the top lane, however, if he can kill Keteris here, it might be worth it. However, Keteris is putting some decent damage back down to it. The Ignite is on Keteris now, but Vespyr is the one who actually has to back off. But meanwhile, Jungle Prodigy and Kake having a fight in the jungle between the junglers. Looks like the fight in the top lane didn't amount to anything here, but Jidan lands a hook, but Taunt uses that hook to go aggressive, and he immediately uses the pulverize very well. A huge knock of her from Jungle Prodigy, and Suction goes down as well. Both AD carries are down, and Taunt might find himself in too deep here. He is going to. It's a double kill for Jungle Prodigy, and all in all, positive for round 6 in the end.
I just want to look at that top lane, like... It's possible that Nahis equalized the lead. Like, he managed to juke away the Blinding Assault, which is like pretty good for him. Oh, doesn't have enough mana. Victor is low on mana, can't finish off that kill, probably would have wanted to. But yeah, managed to dodge that away, and now that he has that Randuin's Omen, the attack speed slow is actually pretty significant onto the Quinn, so he might be able to actually split the 1v1 lane against Quinn.
Yeah, and that would be a huge boon for Steam if he was able to do it. If he was able to completely negate the power that Fengde clearly has right now, 3-0. However, if they do lose those fights without either top laner, like they just did, kind of lost. I mean, it was only a 2-for-1, but it was still technically a loss. Then they might find themselves in a spot of bother.
Yeah, and looking at the inventories right now, look at Ezreal's inventory. Like, we talked about this in the last game. Last game, GGSU wanted their Ezreal to scale, so he just went with the early mana Mune, wanted to stack that tier as fast as possible. Here, we can see that ground 6 needs the Ezreal right now to do something. So he has that tier and just went straight into Gauntlet.
But really, I mean, Gauntlet is a good item, but it doesn't bring a whole lot of raw power. No real attack damage coming out of the Ezreal at the moment. Just the longsword and the Doran's Blade, really.
The thing is, you don't really need all that much attack damage, because the whole point is to have poke and slow. Like, one shot from a mana Mune Ezreal means less than 3 shots from an Iceborne Gauntlet Ezreal because of the CDR, the mana, and the slow, of course. You can't really escape him anymore.
Yeah, no, fair enough, I can see.
And plus, he is, he does have one longsword just to get some base AD, so that he isn't hitting like a paper ball.
Indeed, and it looks like we're gonna see once again a sort of, this game is being quite ARAM-y in a lot of respects. Asher is able to clear waves pretty well in the middle lane. However, they do have the Rift Herald buff, which doesn't make the minions any more tanky, of course, but if they do get to the turret, it could be looking to go down pretty quickly. Asher just dodging out of that spear. If that spear had clipped him on the backside, Kake would have been doing a huge amount of damage to him. Kake, 2-0-2, by the way, has been really building up quite a lead for himself in that jungle. However, Taunt gonna try and clear the tunnel, and he's gonna get knocked up for it. The Unbreakable Will comes out, and now Keteris is on the side flanking, but Fengde is flanking the flanker, and now he's gonna look to take down Keteris, but Kake, with a great spear over the wall, really negates any more aggression from Fengde, and now another spear lands, and Asher is incredibly low. He flashes away, and the team is there to support. Taunt tries to get the combo off, but fails once again, but another beautiful spear from Kake takes down Asher in the backlines. Taunt is gonna survive on low health, and this is incredible play from Kake on that Nidius. However, he is caught by the death sentence, but it won't amount to much, and they are going to look to siege up the turret now. However, there's some defense, and it might be a little tough.
If they actually managed to kill the Quinn there, I think they could have just pushed down this turret, to be quite honest. Because now Quinn managed to heal back up and has Home Guards plus her ult to get there faster, but really amazing play from Kake. He just... The spears are too real.
This is the Spear Lord. However, Keteris in trouble here. Jungle Prodigy going to go aggressive onto him. Keteris does have some decent tank stats with that Randuin's Omen though, so he might be able to survive Fengde. The Blinding Assault is blocked by the minion. And now Kake and Suction are there to support, and Jungle Prodigy might find himself overextended. Jidan with a beautiful play means that Taunt won't be able to make any more plays. And the fight is cooled off in the middle lane.
Yeah, looking at the items, actually it looks like he'll go second item Rod of Ages on this Nidalee. He has the Blasting Wand and both the crystals, the mana and the sapphire. probably gonna go into that Catalyst and into the Rod of Ages, which is understandable. He wants to be doing a lot of damage, however, he doesn't want to be just like made of cardboard and eaten through by the Ezreal. Like, yeah, he does a lot of poke damage, however, he doesn't want to get poked by the Victor and the Ezreal, who are a formidable combo, well, will be a formidable combo 10 minutes in the future.
Yeah, but will they be able to still be competitive at that point in the future? If Kake continues to land the spears like he has been doing, then we really might see a big advantage to the Deadly Kings building up. They are sort of almost 3k gold in the lead now, 2.5k gold in the lead, but they are looking more powerful in these teams. They are going to also look towards the dragon now, and this will be their second dragon. Both teams have one dragon already, so it looks like the Deadly Kings are the ones who want to get rolling on that dragon. They did try and take another early dragon as well, however, in the middle lane, a bit of aggression is negated by that Iceborne Gauntlet.
Yeah, we see a lot of pressure of ground 6 being forced onto the top lane to get that turret. Like, the jungler is there, and that's leaving the mid lane open. They just believe in the Victor wave clear, which is possibly the wrong move.
Possibly the wrong move, especially when he's stuck in the jungle, and the turret does go down, and Suction gets pretty low, but is healed up pretty nicely by Kake. Fengdari looking to get the flank off, but he is too squishy to really go into the 4 people there, and will not be able to do it. So, again, very, very good macro plays from the Deadly Kings.
Yeah, Jungle Prodigy spending too much time in the top lane trying to get that turret and kill the Gnar. Meanwhile, they just use that 2-for-1, 2v1 pressure that Gnar created in the top lane to get the 3 turrets. So, really well done by Deadly Kings. However, they might be caught out here.
Well, they might be indeed, but Conch has that Unbreakable Will, and Rakoanos has flashed away. Conch is revealed, but he will not be going down. He's too tanky with that Unbreakable Will. He can just stroll on out of it. So, again, it was a good engage from round 6, but there wasn't enough follow-up, and the Deadly Kings really could just get out of it pretty easily. Yeah,
now round 6 just backing away. The Victor probably has some items to buy. Actually, going for an early Giant spell. Probably wants that Rylai's for the slow. This is just like we saw from GGSU. That slow combo of Ezreal Gauntlet plus Victor Rylai's can be pretty potent, especially, well, I don't know, this team is kind of weird on the side of Deadly Kings. It has a good combination of poke and hard engage, which is really hard to play against when you are behind.
And I think,
especially when you have a scaling comp that is like the Victor Ezreal.
Do you think that going for that Rylai's will sort of... Do you reckon he'll be able to clear waves as effectively as he needs to? Because there are a lot of waves he needs to be clearing, particularly with this poke comp, this siege comp from the Deadly Kings. Another spear landing onto Jungle Prodigy, not doing enough damage. However, Suction tries to take the bot turret, but finds himself caught out. The Ignite goes down, but Fengdari is the one who gets taken down first. The Ignite will return the kill, but that was a lot of aggression just for that looting, and the Deadly Kings responded very, very quickly. Yudan does land the hook onto Rakoanos, and the fight is going to be re-engaged. Conch beautifully stops Godex from doing too much damage, but Asher is free to do as much damage as he pleases. Conch has that Unbreakable Will, but he is in the Chaos Storm. He is taking quite a lot of damage, but he will be fine in the end. Kake's Spear, that one does not land. And, you know, just the first 2 kills in that fight, despite the re-engage.
Yeah, we talked about this, and Dodge actually looks like he's the main playmaker here. Like, the moment he saw something was up, he immediately comboed Ezreal. Like, without a second thought, when the hook was landing onto Corki, without a second thought, he goes in, combos Ezreal, pops the Unbreakable Will to try and tank some damage and ignites him immediately. Like, no hesitation on his part, and that is really nice to see.
Yeah, if you take one of the carries out of the fight, only Asher is there to do damage, and as much damage as he does do, it's a little bit less, perhaps, thanks to that Giant's Belt that he's picked up, rather than some more damaging AP stats that he could have been picking up instead. So he doesn't do enough damage to really take anyone down in that fight.
Yeah, well, on one hand, you can go get more AP. On the other hand, you cannot die to the person that least spear hits. So, you know, it goes off to the logic, you have to be alive to do damage.
Yeah, no, a decent trade-off.
Which is understandable. I think Rylai's is a pretty good item, especially on Victor. Like, he has enough AP from his item to merit a somewhat defensive other item.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. One thing to note, however, is that Ground 6 have not picked up a single turret this game, and the Deadly Kings have been systematically taking turret after turret in a very impressive fashion. So despite the fact the kills are 7 apiece, we are seeing a pretty big gold lead. Kind of, it's becoming quite chasmic now, actually, and they are taking another turret, and Taunt goes aggressive with the flash play onto Fengde. He gets taken down immediately, a spear from Kake lands, Suction gets hooked, but it won't mean anything. Keteris fails the hop, and now he might be in trouble. Jungle Prodigy gets a decent knockup. The Jidan does not have that death sentence to lock him down, and Godex can't slow him enough. Keteris is too tanky, and he will get out fine, and now they're going to look perhaps towards the Baron, or they're going to bait the Baron.
The Death Bush.
Death Brush. Oh, dear. Oh, well, unfortunate in the end. A spear did land onto Godex, which will mean that he has to go straight back to base. So, again, very, very good macro plays. Very cool, level-headed shot calling coming out from the Deadly Kings.
And they could actually pick up another free dragon. It's spawning in 40 seconds. They just back off now, get all their items, heal back up, and they'll probably pick up another dragon. I don't think that Ground 6 will contest this one. Well, I don't think they can contest this one. They only have one ward, and I think that is a Scrying Orb trinket. In the bush, I am correct. They have 2 Scrying Orb trinkets, which is not enough vision.
No, I guess.
And you don't want to face check this team. You really don't. They have an Alistar, they have a Lucian, and Nidalee, and the Corki. They will eat you alive.
They will indeed, especially that Nidalee, you know, being a cougar, I guess, and all that sort of thing. But, you know, Fengde might be looking to do something aggressive in the bot lane there. He's been hanging out in that bot brush for a long time, hoping to catch someone out, but his plans are going to be flawed because the Deadly Kings are moving on to the dragon, and that is as free as you could ask for a dragon there. Kake taking it down. He does miss his spear, what feels like the first spear miss of the game, and it was onto Scuttle Crab. You can't hit them all, but, you know.
Well, Scuttle Crab is a good druker, to be honest. Like, many a times has he evaded my Lee Sin Qs. Probably choked more than the enemies did, to be quite honest.
Indeed, that seems to be what's happening in this game. Ground 6 not dodging out too many of the Nidalee spears. Of course, they do have a lot of poke to deal with. However, Fengde will take down Ground 6's first turret of the game, but he is being collapsed on by Rakoanos, who looks maybe like he could try and get the 1v1 onto him. Fengde is caught between Rakoanos and the turret now. Rakoanos' poke is not landing, and Fengde gets his ult channel cancelled, and he will be going incredible. A crit from Corki. One more rocket will do it, or an auto attack with the Valkyrie, and he takes him down. However, Ground 6 responding well to take down this mid turret in return.
Yeah, that was... The very beginning of that fight was so calculated from both of them, just like moving back and forth and trying to see. Whoa!
Ooh, an attempt for an engagement on Keteris, but he only rarely catches Jidan. Godex able to dash away from that one. Suction and Godex having their own little AD carry fight on the side. And Suction was looking to win that. He dashes away in the last second because Jungle Prodigy was there. And now Taunt finds himself hooked in, but he has the Unbreakable. Kake with a flash spear. It doesn't land and doesn't pick up the kill. A very aggressive play, perhaps a little too aggressive. Oh, that spear did land though, and Asher will not be around to clear these waves, and this might mean the inhibitor turret's going down. However, there isn't even a wave to clear anymore, so
it is not that big of a wave. However, they can rotate over to Barret. Like,
might be
they're
doing
going
so,
over to blue to pick that up, possibly. Probably should clear out the big boards there. And yeah, they're probably going to rotate over to Baron.
They are certainly in the Baron area now, and Tunch has just come back from his recall.
Yeah, Tunch recalled. He's running all the way back. Wow!
Fengde, incredibly aggressive, looking to blow up Suction. That culling is hitting nothing, and Godex is going aggressive into Suction now. Suction having to back off away from that one, and that missed culling could prove a bit of an issue, because Suction did take quite a lot of damage. He was healed up pretty nicely by Kake in the end, actually, so... However, we are seeing Ground 6 starting up this Baron.
Well, you call that a missing culling. I call it a zoning culling.
a zoning coming and fine. Taunt goes in very aggressive, but he doesn't have Unbreakable Will, and he goes down. The flash engage was not good enough. Kake incredibly low. He's going to back away. He's probably going to be able to heal himself up and throw some more spears down from the side. But Godex, poorly positioned, gets taken down, and Suction just escapes with his life in the end. A positive fight for the Deadly Kings now, and Asher might find himself caught out. Keteris going aggressive onto him. Jidan is there though, and the death sentence does land. And now Fengdare is there, and they will take him down. Asher just staying alive as well. So the Deadly Kings do win that fight, but Keteris kind of throws it away a little bit at the end of the fight, and they do have to go and clear that massive wave in the bot lane anyway.
Well, he did do a lot of damage. Like, Asher almost died with that last proc of Hyper, so it's understandable. However, you don't want to overextend when you're playing against the Quinn. She is so fast, she will instantly punish you. It doesn't matter if she doesn't have teleported, if she is bot side. She'll just pop ulted Yovu's and be top in like 5 seconds. Just like express service.
Yeah. You know, you got the Corki package, but you've also got the Quinn package. Perhaps a little bit of a nerf version, but you know, still potent.
Well, it's like one is on a 6-minute cooldown, the other isn't. So
that is very true.
you
Some
know.
decent ward control in the river around Baron for the Deadly Kings, but Ground 6 are coming in and they're going to take out that pink ward, and they might be able to secure some more vision. They get one ward down and a blue trinket ward as well. So they kind of equalize the vision, but they don't take any of the Deadly Kings' vision away.
Yeah, they're just moving. They're still moving around this Baron. They still want to get it. It's logical. They're gonna start up now. Fangday and Jidan are both backing, and
Yep.
this is going down so quick. They have so much damage on their team. The Corki, the Italy, and the Lucius. Ground Six is not even here. They can't contest it because they're not here.
Yeah, if you're
That's
not
how
there,
fast it
you
went
can't
down.
contest. And the True Shot barrage did come through, but it came through at about 3,000 health per Baron, so it wasn't going to be stealing anything anytime soon. And that is, you know, talk about free dragons, how about a free Baron instead?
Yeah, not what you want to give up. And speaking of the free dragon, another dragon is alive in 50 seconds, and that would be dragon number 4. Which is actually, I think, this time around, I think dragon number 4 is exactly what they want. They want to be able to tower dive with this comp. They have Gnar, they have Alistar. We have seen Alistar using Flash on cooldown, going under that tower to get the priority carries in a CC lock.
We're seeing the 4-1 push here. They're pushing the bottom lane and the top lane. It's only Keter is pushing that top lane, but he's shown that he is able to stand toe-to-toe with Fengdare. And Fengdare is now backing as well, actually. He's probably going to come down to help out the bottom side instead, which, if he does, would leave Keteris with a free track to the top inhibitor turret. However, that inhibitor turret is taking quite a lot of damage already, but they're probably going to back off soon. Fengdare looks to go aggressive and get the engage, but it's only onto Taunch, and it does very little damage indeed.
Meanwhile, not in the top lane, just splitting, doesn't care. He has Baron buff. The caster minion is doing so much here, and it's down.
It's down indeed. However, Dracoanos might also be down. The death sentence lands, but the burst from Asher is not quite enough. And now Suction is looking to go aggressive back onto Asher. Kake, the spear doesn't quite land. And now in Mega, Keteris probably can't duel Fengdare quite as well, and he's going to have to back away. But the fact that Fengdare is in the top side means that they can take down the bottom inhibitor turret, and perhaps even the bottom inhibitor. A flash engage from Taunt. Sees Godex going incredibly low and going down from Dracoanos' crit there. Jungle Prodigy going to be taken down as well. Asher, the Ignite is taking on him. Kake is chasing him down. Will he be able to get to the fountain in time? Not quite, because of the headbutt pulverize combo. However, he does flash onto it, so I eat my words.
I think
he
that's
did
over,
make
though.
it back.
I don't think
it is over.
He doesn't have Chaos Storm. It's over.
It is over, indeed. The Deadly Kings pick up their first win in this best of 2 series against Ground 6, taking down some of the more veteran players from the last season's House Party 5v5 US.
Yeah, it was a pretty solid game overall. Like, they were in the lead for most of the game, and they managed to close it out. Like, very well played.
Yeah, it was absolutely by the book plays from Deadly Kings, able to take one turret, rotate around, take another turret, rotations that would leave Monte Cristo in awe, and they do pick up the victory here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll probably take a quick break now, and we'll be right back with game number 2 in this best of 2 series between Ground 6 and the Deadly Kings.
It's paper next time.
Alright, and welcome back everybody. This is Game 2 of the second match of the Vespyr Premier League. My name is Tasty Aladar, and with me is Void, and we are bringing you this matchup between the Deadly Kings on the blue side and Ground 6 on the red side.
And we're back for the second match, yep. Here come the bans, and the bans are actually same as last game so far. Gangplank and Lulu doesn't look... Right now they haven't changed anything. They're still keeping the general bans. Maybe they have figured out the opponent's strategy and know how to beat them. They don't need to ban it. Oh no, never mind. Corky ban.
Corky ban, interesting, because it was Rakoanos who was using that Corky last time. Nidalee ban makes a lot of sense.
You have to ban that. Like, it's... You have to respect Kaki. He's shown that he is, like, a ridiculous Nidalee player.
Yeah, and we saw how quickly also he locked in Nidalee last time. You knew he was confident in Nidalee, and now we are too, so...
Yeah, Rakoanos actually was the one playing Corky last game, but it looks like they don't want to pick him into the team comp they plan on running, so they would rather not fight against it. And he just ban out Lee Sin, because Lee Sin is always good.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a fair enough
If you don't know what to ban, just ban out Lee Sin, like... Worst case scenario, nothing happens. Best case scenario, they would get destroyed by someone like Rush.
Yeah, and perhaps Jungle Prodigy actually might be a prolific Lee Sin player. I'm not 100% certain about that, but I'm getting that feeling from the bans. Waiting for the last...
Just like the teams are feeling each other out, we're feeling out the players right now, getting some statistics. We have solo queue ranks to go off of, so need more research, more science.
Yeah, as we get further into the split, we'll see more games being played, and we'll know much more what to expect. That Elise could be the first pick here. Was banned out last game. In fact, I think it was banned out by Ground 6 last time, and realizing that it's no longer banned, the Deadly Kings feel obliged to pick it instantly.
Elise is just such a strong early game jungler, especially now with Runic Echoes. Like, when Runic Echoes are allies and then going full tank, you will do ridiculous amounts of damage while still slowing people and being tanky as hell. So that is why they banned the Elise. They know it's really strong. This game they decided against that, would rather ban the Nidalee, and of course you're gonna get that really strong early game jungler. Don't want to leave that up. Yeah, on their side, they're still deciding what they want to do.
Still deciding what they want to do, indeed. And we saw last game Kake on an AP jungler Nidalee who switches forms. Now we're seeing him on another AP jungler rather, that switches forms. So, you know, maybe that's his shtick, his speciality. However, we're going to see what looks like Alistar and Kindred locked in. Kindred, an interesting one. That'll most likely be in the jungle for Jungle Prodigy. The Alistar, I think, is a very good takeaway from Tonch, who we saw going absolutely ham in that last game with Alistar flashing on cooldown. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, but when it did work, man, did it work.
Yeah, Kindred could technically still be a flex pick towards the ADK role, however, it's rarely played as such, just because it's so much harder to get the stacks. If you get like Gromp as your next target and your red side bottom lane, you're like, I ain't never getting that.
You just gotta mark the enemy AD carry and solo, I suppose duo kill them repeatedly.
Yeah, and hope for the best. and then you get outplayed by something like Lucian, and you're like, damn.
Foresee the Ezreal in the bottom lane, which we might do here. Rakona's looking to lock in that Ezreal. The Fiora has been locked in as well, so that'll be definitely going up into the top lane. So we've got Fiora in the top lane with Keteris. We saw him on a more tanky champion, Gnar, last time. It was a very tanky build he went with as well. So we'll be interesting to see how he functions on a more carry-oriented top laner here, and at least in the jungle for Kake. And the Ezreal still technically a flex pick, though I fully expected to go to Suction in the bottom lane. And
yeah, well, now we see a small switch up, like Suction playing Lucian in the last game, now playing Ezreal. Like the sort of counterpart to say, where Lucian is the lane dominant early game carry, Ezreal is the late game hyper slower. And the two of them are the most popular AD carries right now, along with Kalista and Corki, so to speak, though he's usually just playing mid lane. We see a hover of Draven. Draven would be pretty interesting to watch.
Not only do we see a hover of Draven, I think you're overlooking the Pantheon lock-in.
Oh yeah, we have a. Well, it's Fangdara. We've seen him on Quinn, and I just get the feeling that he is the sort of guy that like wants to play that win lane win game.
Well, based on last game, it was win lane lose game, so
yeah,
we're hoping not to see that again coming out
that
of.
Was some... that was a struggle. However, now with Pantheon, he still does have that global presence because of the ult. So still on a high mobility, so to speak, carry-oriented champion. He's thinking between Ignite and Exhaust. It's Fiora in the top lane, so Exhaust sounds pretty good actually.
I think one thing we're probably not going to be seeing him go with is that teleport, though. Despite how useful teleport is.
Yeah, despite how much teleport is used and how good it is,
that just ain't him.
That just ain't him. Oh, I really want to see this Draven.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see the Draven as well.
Draven is so underplayed, to be honest, because there's such a small amount of good Draven players.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the only one that comes to mind that we've seen in our league is Missing You, who was just like Draven banned against him in every single game. Like, I think it was left open once, and he totally dominated, and it was never left open ever again.
Well,
for obvious reasons, of course.
Yeah.
Pick up the LeBlanc. Haven't seen LeBlanc is a strong assassin, definitely, but I don't know. It feels like she has lost her touch.
Yeah, but we're seeing a pretty snowbally team comp here from Ground 6. Kindred, if you get the marks rolling, certainly can snowball pretty well. LeBlanc and Draven, their specialities are snowballing. Pantheon does have a bit of a late game fall off, but if he can snowball the early game and help the Draven and LeBlanc snowball in turn, we could be seeing some real powerhouses on the side of Ground 6. On the other side, Suction on that Ezreal, Tunch on that Braum. Both supports going to go for Ignite again. We'll see if Tunch is willing to make quite such aggressive plays on the Braum. We could be seeing some Flash Glacial Fissures if he plays anything like he did last game.
Yeah, excited to see what he'll pull off on the Braum. Not as flash heavy as Alistar is. However, I believe in it. Like Flash Glacial Fissure, Flash stand behind onto a minion into Glacial Fissure or Winter's Bite. I can see it happening.
Yeah, you can get some pretty incredible gap closing coming out of that champion. The Ignite for Fengdere is what he locked in the end. We are now in the delay, 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining, but it gives us time to discuss whether we think Fengdere will be able to ruffle stomp his lane like he did last game, and whether, the key thing is whether he'll be able to use the Pantheon better than he used the Quinn last game once he gets ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. If they fall behind, they're going to get brutally destroyed. Like, this is the sort of team comp you pull out when you won your first game. They didn't win their first game. Like, this is when you're like, okay, we destroyed them the first game. Now we're just gonna pick a snowball comp. Let's end this in 17 minutes. Like, easy game, easy life. However, last game was far from easy game, easy life for them.
Yeah. I mean, based on last game, they really do have inferior macro plays and macro understanding in comparison to the Deadly Kings. So they might just be looking for, instead of relying on taking turrets and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
would rather every one of them get fed and just
yeah,
like snowball into oblivion and hope that pure mechanical prowess will win them the game. However, I don't know. League is a team game. League is a strategy game. That's the thing. If you out rotate your opponent, the gold lead doesn't matter as much.
yeah, and we'll see if they are able to out-rotate and utilize the split push of Keteris on that Fiora, which I imagine we'll be seeing plenty of. We might be seeing Fengdere kind of using the Pantheon man drop onto Keteris quite a lot of times while Keteris is split pushing.
I actually expect Pantheon to try and go for the Victor, because if Victor uses his flash, he doesn't have any sort of escape. Like, he has the speed up from Q, and that's only after you upgrade your hex score, usually to Mark 2, because taking Q at Mark 1 will just isn't a smart idea. You just need the wave clear from your Death Ray.
And so yeah, we're going to be seeing, it's sort of a battle of strategy versus
brute strength.
here. Yeah, brute strength.
Brute strength.
That's a better.
Solo queue style. Like everybody locks in what they want to lock in. Important thing is get the kills, like win the game. So it will be interesting to see how these playstyles clash.
Yeah, will it be a triumph of Brains over Brawn as we saw last game? However, there's a lot more Brawn coming to this game, so might be a bit more of an even matchup. However, we are now loading into the game finally. We should be on the Rift any moment to bring you Game 2 of the second match of the Vespyr Premier League, the Deadly Kings versus Ground 6.
Yeah, speaking of last game, it might have been the case that they just didn't have enough snowball. Like, Quinn started to snowball rather well. However, the bottom lane was Ezreal, and the mid lane was Victor, who need time to scale. And it was sort of counterintuitive. Like, yeah, you have the Quinn with early game damage, and then you just like leave it up to the late game Victor and Ezreal. Now, of course, the Victor and the Ezreal are on the other foot, as you might imagine.
Indeed, they are. And now we can look at the keystones as well. We're seeing Grasp of the Undying for Keteris on that Fiora, more sort of more defensive mastery, but on Fengdere's Pantheon,
it's a duelist mastery, to be honest. Like, Grasp of the Undying, because it takes away health from your opponent and gives it to you. We see both junglers taking Strength of Ages, which is starting to become the norm. Apart from that, we see Draven taking Fervor, and as we said, Fervor is better for DPS, usually. Fervor is better for DPS and Thunderlords for Burst. About Draven, I'm not too sure. In all honesty, I don't play enough Draven to actually know the correct answer to this, but
I mean, he is a very auto-attack
is good
reliant.
because the whole point is the snowball off of lane. So if you have extra lane pressure with the Thunderlords, I think you can do well. However, he is up against an Ezreal who will just sit at his turret and just throw out mystic shots to farm.
And we are seeing the pretty standard 5-point defenses here in this level 1. No sneaky antics like we saw out of Ground 6 in the last game. Not that it got them anything, of course. And another thing to note is Fengdere on that Pantheon, Ignite and Thunderlord, so he is clearly looking to be...
He's going in for the kill. Like,
he's basically an assassin.
He has Corrupting Potion as well. Corrupting Potion actually does give you that burn damage and, of course, the extra health and mana. He's gonna go in hard. And they're actually looking for the lane swap.
They are indeed. Suction here, walking up towards...
This is excellent, in fact. If they shut down the lanes in a lane swap, Pantheon can't do anything. Pantheon has to, snowball off of the early game. And if he's getting denied, then there's nothing he can do.
Right,
However, Ezreal is just going to scale. Ezreal is just gonna sit there and scale. Fiora as well. She's gonna take a small hit by not being in lane and doing the double jungle route with Elise, but... Hey, it's completely okay.
It's going to be a nasty shock for Fengdere when he walks into that top lane and he sees...
And they're doing a level 1 camp, which means they can actually come from the river if they want to go aggressive onto him. He won't have level 2 for another wave.
There is the on the way ping.
Yeah. He knows what's up. Taunch knows what's up.
Taunch does indeed, and Fengdare about to have that nasty surprise, and Taunch going all the way around. Fengdare already sees Suction. Perhaps he's wondering where the support is. There he is, but the Wizard Bite does not land. Fengdare, 1 stack, 2 stack, 3 stack, not enough. Fengdare will back away from now, and in the end, using the Corrupting Potion to heal up a little bit, but now he is forced out of his lane, which of course is bad news for him.
And he wasted so much time, like he picked up 2 CS, and now he has to double jungle with Kindred. Like, probably the worst fate that could befall a Pantheon. Having to double jungle and be absolutely useless in the early game, which is the only time you are, yes, actually useful.
Yeah, just very, very well thought out here by the Deadly Kings to really shut down Fengdare on that Pantheon. He was a threat last game, and they've recognized this, and they've thought, you know, it's important. He is going to be the main carry on this round 6 team, and he is the one we're going to shut down, and it's working very well so far.
Yeah, so far we see a small lead of Brains over Bronze, and we see Pantheon coming there to try and take the early turret, so they're going with the early push strategy also in the top lane as well. Gonna do a trade of turrets.
Yeah, one factor of this early push with the Pantheon going straight down to the bottom lane is that still only 2 CS for Fengdare. He didn't pick up any jungle minions on the way down there, so he is, I mean, he's an early game champion, but even he needs to scale a little bit, and he is going to be incredibly delayed.
Level 2 and no goal. Like, he's just going off of base stats, and that is really painful, especially because he has the corruption potion, so he doesn't have any bonus AD or health from the Dorans to push that turret.
Kedar is getting incredibly low from that turret in the end, actually, but they do take it down in the end, and they take it down much quicker than ground 6 in that bottom lane, despite the fact there was a little bit of an iffy turret take in the top lane, a bit of a misplay perhaps, but they do take it down in the end. Fengdare might hang around, and he might be able to soak up that wave. He's already up to 4 CS, he is going to back away in the end though. Oh, maybe not. Okay, he's dead. Alright.
I think he has to stay, to be honest, for at least 1 wave of XP. Like, he's level 2. He's level 2 with no more corruption potion charges. He needs to stay there, get level 3. Now he has to get the hell out of there. Like, like he sees the pink ward. He needs to get the hell out of there.
I'm pretty sure Taunch could... Well, actually, maybe not now that he's level 3 as well, but for a while, Taunch was level 3 and Fengdare was only level 2.
Come on, man.
Taunch missing his second Q of the game on that Braum. Not ideal, but, you know, they still have shut down Fengdare incredibly well, so it really shouldn't matter all that much in the end.
Yeah, now he's just going to get zones from XP and CS, and he might as well just back. Yeah, he's backing away. He can't get anything here.
Yeah, he is no longer backing away, but that might spell trouble for him, because we do see Kake down towards the bottom side. He's just going to place a ward near Dragon, or do Scuttle Grab, I can't tell which, and then actually head towards the middle lane instead. Asher, I think he knows something's up. Well, he does now, because Keteris is in his lane, and he knows that ain't right, so he's going to play a little bit more passive on the LeBlanc for now.
Yeah, and they're looking for the dive. Elise is there, Fiora is on her way. They're looking for the dive onto Fengdare. They need to stop this recall.
They're looking for it. Fengdare is recalling. Will be able to finish the recall. No, the flash! Cocoon from Kake takes him down. A first blood comes out for Keteris. Beautifully executed. Suction stays alive.
The ignite. He wasted the ignite. Yes, onto the Braum for no reason at all. Just a frustration summoner.
Yeah, a panic summoner, a frustration summoner, who knows which, but he was so nearly home and dry with that recall. But now he finds himself back in base, level 3, both supports are level 4, and only 7 CS, both supports have 6 CS. I mean, he is basically a support at this point.
Yeah, and support Pantheon, not that great.
I mean, he brings a stun to the table.
He brings a stun to the table and absolutely nothing else. Like, yeah, base damage is... he's level 3. Like, he could get one-shotted by the Victor, who's level 6, just off of base stats.
However, one thing to note is that Keteris actually is level 3 as well, but there is a CS discrepancy already, and there he hits level 4, so he should be able to put some pain down onto Fengdari. Asher going aggressive with the distortions once again. We'll be seeing quite a lot of this in the middle lane, just kind of popping back to it every now and again. He chunks out Rakoanos, but Rakoanos is able to stay around and just wave clear from afar. Fengdari now kind of mouth drooling as he sees this huge minion wave in front of him. That'll at least double his CS, one would imagine, so finally he's going to get something.
Yeah, and remember when Fengdari and Kedrus were in the lane right now and they were like looking like they're even? Yeah. And now Kedrus is back and he actually had enough gold for a Tiamat. So they're nowhere near as close. That's 1200 gold.
Yeah, I mean, it's that first blood gold that was onto Kedrus really making the huge difference there. We're seeing some mastery emotes popped in the middle lane by Tonch and Suction. Good synergy on the mastery emotes there, and Rakoanos turning back up to the middle lane. We're seeing a bit of this ARAM again, and that Winter Fight does land. The Ignite goes down onto Godex early, and he is forced away. The Chaos Storm comes up, but it's not going to do much to anyone. Tonch taken a bit low with that mimicked Sigil of Malice hovering over his head, but it's not enough to take him down either.
Yeah, meanwhile, both top laners are actually freezing the wave to try and get some gold and XP back. As we can see. Yeah,
see them pressuring the middle lane again. And they're getting some decent damage down onto the middle lane. Not all that much, though.
They're actually getting a lot of damage onto the middle lane. Look,
they're
like,
getting more onto it now, but Jungle
that
Prodigy is here.
Quote-unquote poke. Like, not an actual, like, heavy as hell push onto the turret. They're getting a lot of damage down per wave. However, now LeBlanc is coming back with full mana, so she can just use that double distortion for the wave clear. And probably move them away from there. However, they could rotate to get the Rift Herald.
Yeah, or they could just try and focus it down. Jungle Prodigy is hanging around the backside, but he gets cocooned by Kake, and he will not be able to engage, and the turret goes down for free for the Deadly Kings. This seems like a recurring theme, the Deadly Kings getting something for free. Kedrus misses that cannon minion.
Yeah, I actually expected LeBlanc to wave clear this just by using distortion. However, she might have felt like it was a bit too dangerous because of Kake on the delete there, ready with the cocoon.
Yeah, if you dive into that team and you get cocoon and then you get stunned up by the Braum 4-hit, and then it's over for you really, so very, very safe, perhaps a bit too safe there, conceding that middle turret very early.
Yeah, and now Patrick has returned to the top lane. Fiora's just backing away. Why? Because she has another 1200 gold.
And that is a big CS advantage building up over Fengdari. Fengdari does have that wave to soak up though, and he looks to be maybe freezing it again there in the top lane, so he will even out that CS discrepancy by quite a margin, but
however, that keeps him frozen in the top lane, while Fiora can move around and actually create some pressure with her team.
Yeah, and he is the early game champion, Fengdari, on that Pantheon, and if he's
Fiora
freezing for the entire early game,
problem
what's the point? Yeah, exactly. Kake gonna clear this ward away now with the help of that the Raptor buff there, and another ward being cleared out in the middle lane. Asher will take that one down. Going a bit aggressive onto Rakoanos, but the chain doesn't quite land. If the chain had landed, we might have seen a really quite low health Rakoanos there. He does have the heal and the flash available, so he would have been fine in the end, but would have maybe seen one of those summoners burned if a bit more aggression had come out of Asher after the chain had landed.
Actually, looking at Asher's inventory, he's going for the Frost Queens, which is kind of weird. There was a Frost Queens nerf where thankfully the cooldown was increased significantly. And now it's at I think 90 seconds if I am.
Oh. Jungle Prodigy finding himself in trouble here on the wrong side of the team. Winter's Bite comes down onto him and he's incredibly low, but the Land's Respite comes out just in time. Kake, meanwhile, doing damage onto Asher, and Asher goes incredibly low. But the Grand Challenger's pop, and Kedrus is healing through this now. Fengdari's shown up only to die as well. Two people go down, Jidan and Fengdari. Two people on Flashing Rod health, Jungle Prodigy and MA Asher. They're not going to be able to stay and clear the wave. It's just Godex up, really active now, and he's not going to be able to clear the wave either. They might look to take this turret. The Godex does have enough there, but they're now going to rotate to the bottom lane instead, and they're probably going to take that turret instead.
Yeah, they're just taking everything for free. Like you said, a recurring theme. They're just taking everything for free. Like the rotations and Like, the forethought of every move they make has been excellent so far. Like, really well done.
Yeah, I mean, the brains once again winning out here. Asher, however, might be able to pick up a kill onto Keteris. Keteris mistimes the riposte there, but flashes away, and the lunge for the extra gap closed, and he will just about get out alive.
That's kind of weird, because you actually have a bar that tells you exactly when it's going to snare you. Because exactly at the moment it stops slowing you, it snares you. So you just look at the CC bar under your mana bar.
I mean, perhaps he was hoping to riposte some burst damage coming out after.
Possibly, however,
chains, but,
it's better just to use the CC, because you CC her back, and like she can't burst you if she's stunned.
Exactly, and CS discrepancies building up in the middle lane. There's about 20 CS ahead, exactly 20 CS ahead now for Rako Arnos over Asher. So Asher's not having a good time in that middle lane, and that will not help the snowballing potential of the LeBlanc, which she so desperately needs. Another dragon, once again, looks like it's going to be for free. What a surprise. Deadly King's going to take this one down with ease.
Yeah, the snowballing comp is just failing miserably here. Pantheon is... Oh!
Oof, there is the flash Glacial Fisher. Yeah, that's... it doesn't land. I mean, that seems also quite common with Tonch. However, Asher going in aggressive towards the backside of Tonch, and the Whirling Death comes through, and Tonch is incredibly low. Fengdere picks up 1 kill. Now Kake is in trouble. The Repel doesn't get him anywhere like safety, and now he goes down, and Keteris lunges over the wall. Asher gets away from that one. However, Jungle Prodigy on the other side finds himself in trouble. The Death Laser doesn't land from Victor, and now this turns into a much more even fight with the Land's Respite, and Jungle Prodigy will be taken down. However, Fengdere with a beautiful ultimate picks up 1 kill. He's going to try and pick up a second. He has a killing spree now. Suddenly, he is back in the game, and a good turnaround there from Ground 6.
Yeah, managing to pick up 3 kills there, and is actually now in 200 gold of the Fiora. Like, he is back, however, it's the 14th minute. He is back, and this early game champion is online, however, he didn't do what... The reason why early game champions like Pantheon can be so strong is because you just completely dominate your laner. It's not just that you're strong, it's that the opposing laner is so weak, they can't do anything. In this scenario, that just didn't happen. Fiora is useful.
Yeah, and in that last fight, we already saw what Fengdere was looking to bring to the table with the Pantheon pick. However, he needs to do that more often and earlier, really. And I mean, he does pick up the kills, and it may extend his period of relevancy a little bit longer. But
yeah, he has that Yomu's, and Yomu's is such a good item right now. It's a really good power spike. Gives a lot of AD, armor pendant, bonus attack speed and move speed when you pop it.
Yep, and Jungle Prodigy may find himself caught out here. Only 2 stacks, and he will get away with the Volatile Spiderling exploding behind him, doing a little bit of damage, not quite enough to make him concerned in any way, and he will heal it up as well. We do see Keteris split pushing in the bottom lane while we have this, once again, this ARAM coming out in the middle lane.
And he actually doesn't have TP up. Like, it's on cooldown.
And in fact, he is backing away as well. Asher, interesting distortion, just baits it out and goes away again, so nothing too much going on in the middle lane. Just wave clearing coming out from Rako Arnos and Suction, as you might expect with a Victor and an Ezreal.
Yeah, they can just chill and scale, to be honest. However, they have done an excellent job of keeping up pressure even with the scaling comp. The general problem with the scaling comp is that you lack early game pressure and you can fall behind super hard. However, look at them. They have a scaling comp, they're just taking the turret.
They are taking the turret, however, this is a very good ultimate from Fengdere. He zones the team away. Kake finds himself in trouble. However, Jungle Prodigy is also in trouble. The ground challenge is onto him. Keteris is in the backline. However, he can't pop it because Lance Spike comes out. And meanwhile, Suction has been taken down. Keteris gets away from his healing. He's very low, and Asher's chasing him down. That will be the kill, surely. It is a double kill now for Asher. And another team fight victory for Ground 6. And perhaps Braun is making a bit of a comeback.
Yeah, it's... They're still strong. Like, they have that early game comp, and it is strong right now in team fights. When they start ARAMing on mid, it's always going to be it's not so one-sided, but it will always be in the favor of G6.
Actually looking to go aggressive, and Fengdere lands the Silence of Tonch, and Tonch goes down. However, there is a kill repaid, and Jungle Prodigy goes down, as well as Geodan, and it looks like round 6 will overstayed their welcome. Suction going aggressive onto Godex. However, Godex does have a lot of damage, but Suction just has enough to take him down. 2 solo kills and basically another solo kill. A little bit of help from Rakoanos there, and you know, ground 6 really do overstay their welcome.
He missed the stand aside, threw it in the completely opposite direction.
Oh dear.
He ain't missing you. He ain't missing you. Meanwhile, Ezreal and Elise taking that Rift Scuttler. Actually, both the side lanes are extremely pushed. This is very good side lane control coming from the Deadly Kings.
Yeah, this looks like something we're going to have to come to expect from them. Very good macro play, very good awareness, pushing the side lanes perfectly, really. Suction, I'm not convinced by that ultimate, to be honest, but it's... Oh, well, he's popped the mastery emote after it, so, you know, I'm sure he thinks he knows what he was doing, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, so some of them, yeah. I just don't have much to say to them. It's just, yeah, pretty much. Have to agree with you on that one.
Maybe you thought you could take a Little Wolf?
Like, you can try. Okay. Can't fault the guy for trying.
Yeah.
So, like, again, Asher on this LeBlanc, chunking out the Victor. In 30 seconds, there's going to be another dragon, and that could be dragon number 3 for Deadly Kings, which would be great for them because move speed is always a nice stat, and it actually speeds up the whole Dragon 5 process that they could actually use because, as we said, scaling comp.
Yeah.
If they survive the Dragon 5 and get Dragon 5, this is just going to be pretty much.
Yeah, oh, a flash forward from Tonch, and a Glacial Fish as well. Asher finds himself in a lot of trouble, however, the lands despite him comes out very well, and Jinan, it's a big knock-up to disengage that fight, so it looks like Asher's going to be able to get away with his life. No kills going over for either side, a beautiful lands respite from Jungle Prodigy, was able to keep his mid laner alive. However, they will be sieging up the top turret now, the Deadly Kings looking to take this one down, and they might be able to. Jungle Prodigy posturing a little bit aggressively, Keteris around the side as well. Might find himself caught out over, he's trying to turn it onto Jungle Prodigy, who he knows has no ultimate, and Jungle Prodigy is incredibly low, and the pressure that Keteris brings on the side will ensure that the top turret goes down for the Deadly Kings, and once again they have taken down every turret and they're ready to crack into the base.
They have just taken both the outer ring and the inner ring. All that's left are the inhibitor turrets. They have opened up the entire map. They haven't pushed up the ward line. This is my one complaint. They haven't pushed up the ward line, especially on the bot side. The bot side is completely in the dark, especially now that you want to do Dragon. It's really suboptimal. However, they do have control of Baron because, well, Baron spawning right now. Yeah, exactly now is live. So they have vision of it in case, just in case, Ground 6 wants to try something fishy over there.
Yeah, and the Deadly Kings, they want to take this dragon down. It's obvious they want to take it. However, Suction is busy in the bottom lane clearing out that wave that was built up there. So they might have to give up this dragon. Jungle Prodigy does start it up, so Ground 6 looking to take it away. And if they take it away, that'll delay the potential by 5th dragon considerably. So at the moment we're looking at almost a 30-minute 5th dragon if they manage to take it down. However, Jungle Prodigy looking to take it down. He will take it down in the end, and that will be a dragon pretty much uncontested for Ground 6.
Yeah, and the completely missed ult by Ezreal, didn't use it early enough. But even if he hit the dragon, like, the chances of stealing the dragon with an Ezreal are low. When you have a level 10 jungler.
Yeah, I mean, maybe...
Yeah, at that point, Smite does 640 damage.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, very unlikely the Ezreal is going to get the steal, but Suction's ultimates have been a little bit awry perhaps so far this game, but nothing too major to worry
throughout
about.
an ultimate to try and steal Draven's red buff. However, Draven just leashed it to the corner near the Raptors, and the ult didn't hit anything.
Yeah, I mean, he's not afraid to use the ultimate, and
which is good
yeah.
because look, his ult is already back up.
Yeah,
it's a 48-second cooldown because of all the cooldown reduction that Ezreal built. Plus, it gets decreased by 1 second every time you hit something with your Q.
Early flash from Rakoanos there is what keeps him alive in the end. Jungle Prodigy showing up in the mid lane to ensure that that summoner is burned. He might be able to clear out a couple of the pink wards around Baron now, and Jidan does get one ward into the Baron pit. However, Tonch might be able to catch up Jungle Prodigy. Kake flashes in, the flash cocoon, Jungle Prodigy goes very low. But once again, the Lamb's Respite, as well as the Pulverize from Jidan, are able to delay the fight considerably. Fengari is incoming. Jungle Prodigy has already gone down, and Asher is having to flash out of it now. Fengari comes in too late now, and Jidan's going to be going down surely. One more hit on those concussive blows will take him down. The Venomous fight in the end, and Fengari now finds himself in trouble as well. Blocks that one auto, but it's not going to be enough. The lunge from Keteris comes through, and that is a big team fight win for the Deadly Kings.
And that was just a completely dominated team fight. The Pantheon ult was well positioned, however, it didn't do anything. Like, when he arrived, they already lost almost all of their pressure. And this is now a free Baron.
Yeah.
Actually, they decide against it.
Maybe not actually.
Which is... I think they could have gotten it, to be honest. Like, LeBlanc was on her way, however, Kindred was going down bottom.
Yeah, I mean, they do have that wave pushing in the bot lane as well, so I mean, they could have at least delayed some time around the Baron and, you know,
and have the wave crash in and do a lot of damage on the bot lane turret, yeah.
But, you know, I'm sure they're a lot better at macro League of Legends than I am, judging by what happened in Game 1 and what's been happening so far in this game, so I'm not going to
It's all part of the master plan.
Yeah, clearly, all part of the ingenious... So was the Ezreal earlier, that was all part of the plan. 100%.
It's luring them into a false sense of security.
Mm-hmm.
You want you to think like, oh, this guy can't hit Ezreal ults to save his life. And then you like 5 minutes Ezreal ult them along with the 5-man Chaos Storm. Like,
yeah, oh, Asher going aggressive on the Suction, and Suction taking incredibly
almost
low
getting
there.
one-shotted. Well, not one-shotted, but like insta-bursted.
Insta-bursted indeed. Asher doing a lot of damage. He is 3-0-2, and he has built up some farm for himself, not quite as much as Rakoanos, but he's not doing badly, and he is looking to snowball and starting to do that.
Ooh. This is looking bad for Ground 6, definitely. Like, they have gotten to the 24-minute mark. Pantheon is not getting any stronger. He's just going to start falling off. He has to start building tanky to actually, you know, still be somewhat relevant. He's still kind of useful. He's getting that Hex Drinker. He wants that Maw of Malmortius for more damage, and after that I think he just has to go tank. If he doesn't, he'll just get popped. Like, Elise is done with all the AP she's building. She's just building full tank now and is defensive line of the team. Braum as well, building tank. He finished up the face of the mountain and side stone.
Ooh, a flash engage from Jidan catches Rakoanos up. He's very low, however, he takes a long time to go down. Fengari has ulted to the backline, and he is kept alive by Lamb's Respite after taking Suction down. Kake looking to return the kill onto Fengari, but Fengari stays alive. The repel is enough, and Tonch flashes in as well. Now Keteris has shown up, and he is looking to turn the tide of the fight. This is a very close fight, but he's going to take down Jungle Prodigy, and Jidan's in trouble now. And Godex as well, he's going to get stunned up by the concussive blow. Keteris picks up the triple kill. This is going to be a quadra kill, surely, when they catch up with Jidan. It goes down. There is the quadra kill for Keteris. An amazing team fight from that man. Goes from 2-1-2 to 6-1-2. Excellent plays on that Fiora.
He arrived late, however, the cleanup was so good. Like, he knew who to focus, he knew exactly what to do. Immediately went for the backline and took out Asher. Then instead of chasing Godex, he just returned to pick up the Pantheon. Like, he returned to attack the Pantheon and the Alistar that were there and Kindred. Managed to take care of them. When Godex returned, he immediately stopped focusing Alistar and immediately just went on to the Draven. Like, really good focus, and shows that he really knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and that fight looked so good for Ground 6 early. I mean, got the big engage onto Rakoanos, but Rakoanos was able to stay alive much longer than you'd be expecting. Jungle Prodigy forced to pop the Yomus to try and get out of that one. Some aggression from Suction and Rakoanos. They pick up Ground 6's blue buff, another free objective for them, you might say. Asher might be in trouble here as Keteris is hanging around over the wall.
Speaking of free objectives, Dragon is live, and it won't be for long.
Yeah, no, it will not be for long indeed. That will be the third dragon coming out now. They're picking up the dragons. I mean, it leaves open the option of scaling, but scaling into that point where they get the fifth dragon, but at the moment they might not even need it.
Yeah. Oh, here comes the Ezreal with the slows onto LeBlanc, and she's dead.
Ghosts of pop, but nowhere
Pop
near
the ghost
enough of
had
this
the
work.
passive, but it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, Victor and Elise actually doing all the damage. Ezreal didn't even land the Q onto her. Didn't need to land the Q. The Chaos Storm just burned right through her.
And now they might be looking to use that kill to put pressure onto this inhibitor. It's going down to half health. Jungle Prodigy looking to defend here, and Keteris uses the riposte well to get himself out of that one, and he's just going to be pressuring that turret back again, and the inhibitor in the middle lane does go down because they weren't aggressive onto Keteris rather than defending it, and now Keteris has brought a wave up to the bot side, and they're going to take this one as well.
Turret. Well, not free, but that's another turret they can take.
They can take it. The Whirling Death comes through to clear the wave pretty well, but the turret bursts incredibly quickly. They might not be able to get the inhibitor though, as Asher is back up. However, he's chunked to about half health already, and he's already returning to this.
So it's pretty dangerous, and actually there's a giant wave in the top lane pushing towards them. So they're probably just gonna back off, clear that, and take this game slow and steady. It's the 30th minute. They're getting into that mid to late game where they want to be, where they're actually quite strong.
Yeah,
I mean, have no problem. They're in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
Like 8k gold lead.
Keteris
8
is
turrets, 3 dragons. Like,
Keteris is undoubtedly very, very strong right now already, and he might be able to keep scaling up as well. There is a huge gold lead coming out now as well. There's 8.5k roughly gold lead, and that's only going to keep getting bigger, especially if they look to take down this Baron. The Keteris is in the bot side, and at the moment Kake is doing Raptors, so that shouldn't be too big of a problem. Invading into the jungle here, Tonch and Rackle on us, some pretty aggressive posturing here, and they get a ward down, but Jungle Prodigy uses the Raptor buff to just take that one away in the end, and put down a ward of their own.
And meanwhile, Fiora's just splitting. Like, they're putting pressure up top, Fiora's putting pressure down bot where they have an open inhibitor, so they have to send people over. And look, they're sending the entire team over while they're just going to take Baron.
They are just going to take Baron, it's as simple as that. I mean, it's another free objective, it's the second free Baron of the series. The Whirling Death will come along to contest. Oh no, it's going to be blocked by the Unbreakable Shield.
Yeah, it doesn't even return. And Fiora's still splitting the bottom lane. They sacrificed Baron to stop the Fiora, and they didn't even stop the Fiora.
They didn't even stop the Fiora. Now Jungle Prodigy finds himself, he was trying to flank Keteris, but Keteris goes over the wall to try and flank him in return. He does have the Lamb's Respite available though, but it's not going to mean anything in particular. Keteris just really occupying so much time in the bottom lane, allows the rest of the Deadly Kings to do pretty much whatever they want. Asher is the only one in the top lane at the moment, and they're going to be looking to pressure that last inhibitor turret.
He's getting so much pressure. Look, he's back on that inhibitor again, and they can't stop him because they have to defend their top lane inhibitor. They're just going to lose their entire base now.
They're just squeezing the life slowly out of it. They're being strangled, and there's nothing they can do about it. Jungle Prodigy flashing away. Tonch catches up with him. A Glacial Fissure comes out, as well as the True Shot Barrage. Jungle Prodigy surely going to go down soon. This is a bit of wasted time for them. The flash. Oh dear, no, Suction does not manage to get it, but meanwhile the whole time, Keteris was there in the bottom lane, getting that inhibitor, and now Fengari looking to go aggressive, but he doesn't have all that much damage now that it's towards the middle game, and Keteris might be able to turn it if he gets the last Vital Proc. Surely, he can't quite get it, but he does flash in, and the lunge picks it up, but the kill is returned onto him. An intense fight to finish off the game here, and the game surely is going to be over soon. Suction gets bursted incredibly low, and a good engage from G-Dan, but the Lamb's Respite helps out Suction just as much as it helps out Jungle Prodigy, and Jungle Prodigy finds himself going down straight away as soon as it's gone. Godex stays alive, but Rakoanos makes sure that it's not for long. Asher and Jidan are on the wrong side now. They can't defend their Nexus turrets. This is going to go down. This is going to be another win here for the Deadly Kings, surely, if they just focus on the turret. Rakoanos zoning Asher away. He picks up one last kill, and Kake slowly finishing off the Nexus here. He takes it down, and that is the 2-0 sweep there for the Deadly Kings over Ground 6.
That was so well played. Like, that last portion of the game, it was so tactically well executed. Just like strangling the life out of them. Like, pressuring every part of the base at the same time. It was very well played by them. Also, we have received word that the last game might not be played today because there seems to be some server issues. People can't log in and such, so just a heads up on that
So
one.
yeah, that'll be it for us for now, and you've witnessed a very, very convincing win from the Deadly Kings over Ground 6. We'll hopefully be able to bring you the next game, but we can't say for certain. But from me, it's out. I'm out for now, and I believe you're off too now, Void, as well.
I am off as well. It has been wonderful casting today. Remember, down below are the links to the Facebook, the Twitter, the website, the YouTube, the Reddit, and of course following us on Twitch. Remember to follow Vespyr for more quality team play.
Yeah, all that good stuff. Anyway, that'll be us for now. See you later.